Hello, beautiful Starseeds and Lightworkers. It's Alexander Quinn, and I hope you are well. This week, we had three physical upgrades. And so it can feel like there is cognitive dissonance. It can feel like your fatigue, it was dialed up even more. And when we get these quick successions of energetic physical upgrades, it's going to ask the body to purge if there are any toxins or there's too much food inside you. And so some of you will have been having it coming up here, and some of you will have been having it coming up, well, coming out of it down there. And usually around this time, I get clients calling me from all over the world in different countries, all usually on the same day, saying, I'm being psychically attacked, I'm being psychically attacked. There's very heavy energy coming in at this moment in time. And yes, there is very heavy energy coming in at this moment in time, but it's actually all the stuff that needs to have reviewal coming up out of your own density. And that's why certain things are going bump in the night in the body. People are saying to me, but Alexander, I did this work, I cleared that, I did this, I don't know why this is coming up again. And I just want to address this quickly because you have a mental, physical, emotional, and energetic light body. And if you're trying to work on the cosmetic part of your energetic self, it's never going to remove the emotional, mental, or physical ailment or energetic ailment issue that you are encountering. So, for example, if this is something that, if you were sexually abused or emotionally abused, and it's coming up as something that is now lymphatic, or something that is, say, a mother wounding, relational to emotional sexual abuse, to say to your mother, you're going to be experiencing issues on your left hip or lymphatic system, but it won't be in physicality. That's cosmetic. You have to go back into the emotional template and then release it at a physical cellular level. And that's why the body is presenting all these physical issues at this moment in time. And partly exhaustion is increasing because as you're working through those four bodies of your consciousness, what's happening is we're also now upgrading in very quick succession, especially this week. And that's why some people have been purging. Now, this can cause the ego to go back into victimhood mentality. And when you go back into victimhood mentality, there is this feeling of I'm being psychically attacked. And so if you are experiencing that, do try to come out of that victimhood mentality, because it's depending on what side of the singularity you're on, it's going to bring more of that to you, and it's going to feel like everything is going wrong. Because your holographic matrix, that which you set up for yourself when you're down here in order to show you the lessons, is going to show you a more extreme version of duality at this moment in time, depending on what you're walking through. So it's not going to be about what you're walking through, but it's going to be about how you're actually dealing with it as and when it comes up, because it's asking you to integrate more of your shadow and not battle it. Your strengths are not always in your light. Your light gives you the perception of where your integrated shadow needs to come in. You have to have both. So if you're always walking in the light, you're going to get blinded by it. But if you're always walking in the darkness, you're going to drown in it. It's the light that gives you the perception, that shows you where your shadow needs to be integrated. And that's why you need to have light and dark. And that's partly why we have duality in 3 and 4D consciousness. But people are saying, oh, I feel really lost at this moment in time. Even psychics and mediums are saying it to me at this moment in time. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I am. And that's because egoically, the ego has to have a reference point of where we are now and where we are going in order to find stability within a physical world. Because it's the ego's template in order to ground you into physicality. And what is happening when we have these massive energetic upgrades is it's forcing you into a state of singularity between the light and the dark, and between duality, in order to push you into flow state, which is where creator begins to work through you, healing yourself and others. And your egoic self can't find a vantage point within that equilibrium, and so it panics, and it can go into victim mode, and it can go into I feel lost and all these kinds of things, when in actual fact you are energetically flowing into the very place you need to be. And yes, it does help massively if you are clear on what your emotional template is trying to convey conceptually through the higher self as felt through your heart, which is your emotional detachment and your compassionate detachment and your emotional observational prowess to show you what it is that you need to be doing, linked to your excitements and your joys, which is where your path is, but to then release the egoic assumption and expectation, which is then controlling the vantage point of where I am or where I have to go, so that you can then flow through into your abundance and your love and your money and so on and so forth without forcing it and letting your soul actually do the work, as opposed to the timeline that your ego actually wants to be on, causing more resistance, more fatigue, more physical pain, and more victimhood mentality. Did you get all of that? That was a lot of words very quickly. And so I wouldn't be surprised if. And the other thing I want to address is I said in one of my posts recently that where friction creates heat, it is felt in the world soul. And where what we see in the world soul is also mimicked in Gaia as well. And so some of you are looking at the Schumann resonance and the KP indexes, and they're going, and you're going, oh my God, but I'm getting these massive feelings and I'm feeling wiped out, but I'm not seeing it in this scientific energetic encoding. And as my Arcturian said, increasingly you will not always see it there because some of these codings are not measurable now, but your body will feel it. And so the earth and your physical body is acting like a super capacitor. And as it builds up more and more stored energy, which the science is not always perceiving, where these misalignments occur as you're capacitating more and more energy and stored up. So, in other words, feeling more and more wired, but yet can't sleep, got more and more energy, don't need to eat, but feel tired because your body is working on light now, and your eating habits are not necessity but habit. So you're putting food in yourself even though you're not hungry because the light body doesn't need the food because it's already energized by the light. So some of you are saying that feeling and experiencing you don't need the light. So you're capacitating all this energy, and Gaia is as well. So you what you have is this capacitation of energy in the world soul, but also in Gaia. And then as it starts to get to these heightened levels of capacity, what you're seeing is where misalignments are created in relationships within the world soul and also mimicked by Gaia herself, you get these sudden periods of earthquakes. And this is what I was saying in one of my posts recently. 7 days ago, I was saying you're going to suddenly see earthquakes on a global scale. We've just had ones in the last 7 days, all on a global scale, all around the world. One of the biggest ones being Turkey and in America and in the Philippines and all over the place. So you're going to see where the land is mimicking the world soul, but collectively created by individuality, but where the starseeds and the light workers are processing outside of victimhood that which all the density is coming up at this moment in time. And so I wouldn't be surprised if some of you were getting to this weekend and feeling, oh my God, what has happened? I'm getting cognitive dissonance. I'm struggling to speak. I'm feeling more tired than normal. I've had to cancel clients. I had to leave work early. I was meant to be doing this. I was meant to be doing that, and I put it off. And one of the reasons why you're feeling fatigue is because of a cellular restructuring at a quantum level, but also because your soul is saying to your ego, we've got to slow down here because you've got to perceive what it is that the mirroring is trying to show you both externally and externally so that you can have a pocket in time in order to see what it is that you set up for yourself prior to getting down here in order to work through. And you can't do that when you're in a modern world running at 100 miles per hour egoically because you're going to be spiraling. And if you're mentally spiraling, depending on what half of the singularity you're on, it's going to feel like you're walking through hell. And this is partly why mental health, when we get these massive upgrades, it becomes an issue. And some people who have mental health issues who are fragile then sometimes become sectioned or have to go back to a mental health clinician, or sometimes have to go back to hospital. And these bouts of mental health issues then begin to arise. Um, Now, on a smaller sliding scale, some people around this time can feel like, oh my God, I'm going crazy. I feel like I can't get an equilibrium on the situation. I feel like I'm going nuts. I'm not here. You're not going crazy, but what is happening is your ego is fighting the subconscious flooding that is coming up at this moment in time because it can't, as I said, it can't get a hold, an anchor on what is happening, and so it panics. It's a bit like someone having a bad acid trip. They are they can't handle the level of subconscious flooding that is coming through, even though it's actually offering you the very answer that you are seeking. And so when you get this massive friction, it creates an out of control state egoically sometimes. But actually, that's where the magic is. Alexander Quinn, I wish it was. I wish it was. And so I just wanted to make a very quick, short, sweet video just to say this week will have been very intense for a lot of you. There are lots of you who are at different stages at this moment in time. Some of you are at the stage where, oh, I don't think this relationship or job fits me anymore. And then there are those of you who are further down the line who are now in the stage of where you need to be, in the relationship where you need to be, doing your spiritual business or whatever it is, or you're in that fantastic job you've always wanted, but then you're also at a place where, oh God, I'm now stuck now that I'm at the stage where I need to be at, but I'm still stuck. I don't know where to go. And so everyone at every different stage of awakenment is going through a stage of expansion at this moment in time. Everyone is. And so it doesn't matter whether you're at the beginning stages or the advanced stages, everyone is going to be feeling this. There's this level of expansion that's coming in at this moment in time, and I'm feeling it, and I don't know where it is. So allow the soul through your highest excitements and joys to be able to begin to show you slowly and navigate you towards what those things need to be, because at a very simple level, if you're not enjoying what you're doing anymore, it's going to, through your emotional template, conceptually show you where you need to be going. So that's partly where the fatigue is trying to slow you down in order to give you a pocket of time so you can see that. Now, I appreciate that the science says that there is this enormous filament on the sun at this moment in time. It has luckily not given us a Carrington event eruption, although it has been facing the Earth for some time, and I have also been watching it. But what I would take into account is actually there have been some even stronger gamma ray related and cosmic energies hitting us, but are fueling that capacitor, which is partly what you've been feeling at this moment in time. And that's why when some of you go to the KP index and the human resonance, and you feel like there's been a massive wave, but there hasn't, that is what you're actually experiencing. And so I'm just quickly going to bring some Arcturian codes through just to help make your body integrate at an easier frequency level what you're actually feeling so that you can have a bit more energy. So just give me a moment to bring these codes through, and then I'm going to finish this video, say goodbye, and wish you all a great weekend. So just bear with me 1 second. Abadi shishabada shakatadi shungo shabadabadiada, the andadabadi, shabshakuri shibidibadiada, adada ungo nabadiada, shaka ungo shabadada, or whatever shadada ingo shabada adadi ingo shabadada ya, badiada, 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 shakabadi shungo, shabadi shungo, shugusha agadabadi, whatever ya, shagari under the shaka ungo shatada indicate indish ungo, india riana gadabakati shungo shabadiada. Take on me, take on me. Okay, wasn't expecting that to come through. I was actually going to say take a deep breath, but that's a great song. Oh, goodness gracious. Someone out there needed to hear that for some reason. Okay, Starseeds and Lightworkers, keep up the good work. You can do this. I know some of you are feeling a bit crazy right now, but stick with the program. Keep pushing through your resistances. I know some of you are feeling a bit tired and wired. Yeah, your body is going back to a state that it is normally used to. Less sleep and less food. More sleep and more food is an old paradigm. Yeah, but you're just getting used to that. God bless, and I'll see you very soon. And I'll keep posting the updates, and you are all going to be absolutely fine. I promise you. Yeah, adjusting is not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah. Ciao for now.